You ever feel like you're just a little too self-aware? Like your mind is this incredible radar, picking up on everything, but that same radar is also the reason you're so exhausted all the time. If that sounds familiar, you're in exactly the right place. We're going to get into what it really means to be hyper self-aware.
And I mean the really small stuff, the subtle signals that seem to just fly right over everyone else's heads. You walk into a room, and even if everyone's smiling, you can just feel that something's off. It's a different kind of perception, isn't it?
It's these tiny, almost invisible details that you're picking up on. You catch that slight tightness in a friend's voice when they say, "I'm fine." You hear the unspoken question behind a seemingly normal sentence. Your brain is just constantly, automatically processing all these hidden layers.
And this really is the central paradox of it all, isn't it? This deep perception feels like a superpower. It makes you incredibly empathetic, super insightful. But when that engine is always running, it can be so draining.
This right here really shows the two sides of the same coin. Your high empathy, that's a true gift. But it also means you end up absorbing other people's pain like a sponge. And that amazing ability you have to see patterns nobody else sees, it's incredible. But it's also what fuels that constant overthinking that can leave you feeling totally paralyzed.
So how does this actually show up in your day-to-day life? It can really feel like your brain just doesn't have an off switch. Let's take a look at some of the most common signs that your engine is always running.
Does any of this sound familiar? Replaying that one conversation over and over and over in your head, picking apart every single word. Or that paralysis by analysis when you're just trying to decide what to have for lunch. And the physical stuff, the tight jaw, the sore shoulders, that's your body literally carrying the weight of a mind that is running a marathon 24/7.
And there's actually a neurological reason for this. It's connected to something called the default mode network, or DMN. It's the part of our brain that handles self-reflection. For most people, it clicks on when they're daydreaming. But for highly aware folks, research shows this network can be hyperactive, basically trapping you in those constant loops of self-analysis.
Now, here's a really crucial point. If your brain works this way, it is not because you're broken. It's because you developed a brilliant adaptation. This heightened awareness didn't come from nowhere. It developed for a very, very good reason.
And psychology basically points to two main paths here. On one path, you have the sensitive. You might have been born with something called sensory processing sensitivity. Your nervous system is just wired like a high-definition camera. The second path is the survivor. This is where you learned hypervigilance as an adaptation, probably in an unpredictable environment where you had to scan for emotional danger just to feel safe.
Okay, this leads us to what is, for many people, the most frustrating part of this whole experience. You can be one of the most psychologically savvy people you know, and yet all that knowledge doesn't actually seem to help you feel any better.
You have all the vocabulary. You've read the books, you've listened to the podcasts. You can perfectly describe your own patterns, your triggers, your trauma responses, often in real time as they're happening.
It's like you have this little commentator in your head, right? You can literally say to yourself, okay, I'm feeling activated right now. Or, yep, there's my anxious attachment. Or, oh, look at me, I'm people-pleasing again to avoid this conflict. And yet, all that amazing insight doesn't stop the feeling itself. The anxiety is still buzzing. That urge to make everyone happy is still overwhelming. You're stuck in your head, and it is so incredibly frustrating to know better but not feel any better.
This right here, this is the absolute heart of the matter. We call it the awareness paradox. It's the huge gap between your cognitive insight and your bodily integration. See, your brilliant mind is trying to analyze and control a feeling that actually lives in your nervous system. Healing doesn't just happen from understanding something. It happens when your body learns to feel safe.
So, the big question is, how do we bridge that gap? The answer isn't to become less aware. That's not going to happen. The goal is to learn how to stop carrying the weight of everything you perceive. It's about shifting from constant mental analysis to a real sense of physical presence.
So, let's talk about 3 simple but really powerful shifts. First, just for a moment, pause the endless "why am I like this" question, and instead ask, what am I physically feeling right now? Second, swap out that self-analysis with a simple question, what do I need? Asking about your needs calms your nervous system way faster than any explanation ever will. And third, give yourself permission to be messy. Let go of this pressure to have the perfectly regulated, emotionally correct response.
And to help with that, here are 3 liberating ideas to hold on to. First, not every silence is a secret message you have to decode. Second,
Not every feeling of anxiety is a 5-alarm fire that you have to put out right now. And third, and this is a big one, just because you perceive something, like someone's insecurity, doesn't mean it's your job to do something about it.
So let's just be really clear. Your awareness is a strength. It's a tool that helped you survive. The goal is not to get rid of it. The goal is to feel more supported, so your awareness becomes this solid ground you can stand on, instead of a heavy burden you have to carry.
Ultimately, your perception, your awareness, it's a form of light, and you get to choose how you use it. You can keep using it like a harsh analytical laser, pointing out every tiny flaw in yourself and everyone around you. Or you can learn to soften it, turning it into a warm candle, something that illuminates with gentleness, with compassion, and with real presence. The choice really is yours.